There we go. Okay, so we have talked a lot recently about IZone Sharpshooter. As you know, that is our main system that we use in the elite room for our trend trading. And we've reviewed IZone Sharpshooter a lot lately. In the room today, some people were asking about, hey, can you do a walkthrough, on some, tougher, choppier days, or some days certain things might not be too clear. Can we have a webinar where we walk through 2 or 3 days on a chart? And we can definitely try to do that. I will get that on the list for a future webinar. We're not doing that today. We've already got this webinar scheduled, but I had that request, and I will try to get us on that. But we've talked a lot recently about adding in extra trades. Okay, so we've talked a lot about, the entry and exit rules for trend trading the IZone Sharpshooter. Okay, from there we've talked about, trading IZone Sharpshooter in the choppy days. Okay, and I want to make a little clarification here of some verbiage that we're going to be changing from here going forward of how we refer to certain trades, and we're going to be changing some of this verbiage in the form as well to make sure it's consistent. Okay, so we know the IZone trending rules. Okay, but then we also have the chop trading rules where the I zones are very close together, or maybe it's straddling an ice zone or a deviation, and we take the smaller choppy trades. Now, sometimes in the past, we might have referred to those as scalp trading. Okay, but we want to make sure for moving forward that we call those chop trades, not scalp trades. All right, and here's why I want to make that clarification is with those chop trades, we have certain entry and exit rules that get us in or out, or like we take our profit on those when the bar gets into the next I zone, right? Now, it can be very different. Those I zones can be real close together. They can be a little further apart. Okay, so sometimes that's not simply just a scalp trade. It can be more than a scalp would be. Depends on how far away that next I zone is. All right, so that way we keep some clarification here, and you'll understand a little bit why. We've got our trending rules for IZone Sharpshooter, and then we have our chop trading. Okay, so we're not going to be calling those particular trades a scalp, and they're not going to be referred to that moving forward, and they'll be changing the form as well. So we're going to call those chop trading. So we've talked about, first of all, learning trend trading with IZone Sharpshooter, and then you also add on how to learn how to chop trade in those choppy days when the zones are close. Then we've talked about adding on the elite. Then we've added on actual scalps. Okay, and one of the big differences between the chop trades is there's not a set profit target that we're going for. It's not a, hey, anytime we enter these trades, we're going for 5 ticks, we're going for 10 ticks, we're going for 15 ticks. We're going for the difference of where that next I zone is, and that can always be different. So that's really the clarification and difference I'm trying to make here of chop trades that are close zones. Then we've got actual scalps where we enter at a certain point. We have a set number of ticks as a stop, and we have a set number of ticks we're going for as a scalp. All right, and we've talked about adding in those extra scalps. The elite pattern E's, all right, the slingshots, the elevators. Those are actual scalps where we're getting in with a set number of ticks, okay, as a profit target. All right, so wanted to make that kind of clear of how that verbiage is going to be changed around. So we've talked a lot about that. We've talked a lot about making sure to add those on, having multiple plays in your playbook, because when you just start and you're just learning how to do it, maybe you're just focusing on the trending rules. Maybe there's not a ton of trades that day. All right, but you can have the E's and the elevators and the slingshots and add in some other trades. All right, so you start with one, master it, get it down in demo, be profitable in demo, move over to live, be profitable in live, then you can add another one on. All right, so we start with trending, then we have chop, then we have the E's and slings and elevators, And the nice thing is that you can do these all on one chart, all right? Doesn't have to be multiple charts, okay? By the way, I think Lori posted again something today in the room about how to go in and make your MVP line transparent, and it really cleans up the chart. All right, so check that out. But that is the nice thing about these, is you can have them all on one chart. Okay, so we've got trend, we've got chop, and we've got scalp. All right, may seem a little petty to you, but we're just trying to keep some things consistent and keep it consistent in our verbiage and in the form. Does everybody understand the difference there of why we're calling that a chop trade as opposed to why we're calling it the chop trade as opposed to a scalp? Does that make sense? Okay, again, may seem petty, but that's what we're kind of doing there. Okay, I'm sorry, I totally messed that up. What Lori posted earlier in the room was getting rid of the trend catcher volatile trend line, not the MVP. Okay, because I believe that MVP line is already out of there in the template. Okay, so yes. Okay, all right. So we want to talk about adding on one more trade to this. Okay, guys, I see your questions coming through. We're focusing on one thing today. Let me get through what we're covering, then I'll try to go back and look at some of these questions. Okay, so we've talked about those different types of trades: trend, chop, and scalp. All right, and now we want to just give you a quick introduction here to one more type of trade that you can add on to this same chart. Okay, and give you some extra trades during the day. All right, it's called swing trading. Now, these are very different from all the other trades we do, but there's trades all over the place that you can take advantage of. All right, and I don't know how to stress this enough, okay, but do not overcomplicate this. This is super easy. The hardest part of this trade, I can tell you, is going to be you. All right, overcomplicating it. Keep it simple. There's not a million rules. Just look at the chart. You can do some back testing and look at it. You can demo test it moving forward. But the biggest mistake you'll make with this trade is overcomplicating it and looking at too much. All right, there's no need to do this. All right, and I'm going to kind of show you what it is here. Basically, if a market is trending in a certain direction, you wait for a retrace, and then you enter after breaking the high or low. Okay, and I'm going to show you the forum post on it. We've got a forum post on it here that really kind of explains this. Okay, and we don't use there's not a million rules. We don't use a million indicators here. So kind of take your mind away from that. People are, going to already be asking questions. Well, how many bars and what do I do and what? Let me just kind of break this down. Just kind of follow along here. Hold on to your questions for a minute. Let me just kind of give you an idea of what swing trading is. All right. You literally, and I'm going to link this forum post to the IZone Sharpshooter course, and it'll also have this video in there as well. So I'll have all this linked together for you. But just real quick here on the forum post. Okay. Had a couple of people that are already doing these trades. Okay, that have been posting some stuff in the forum and asking some questions about it. Okay, so I want to give you, I'm going to kind of jump around here a little bit. All right, what is swing trading on the IZone Sharpshooter course? Forget about the iZones, forget about all the indicators lining up, forget all that. Okay, just forget all that. Basically, in a nutshell, market is trending up. Right here, for example, market is trending up. Well, define trending. Okay, we're not going to get into, well, it's got to bounce all the market's either going up or down. If you can't tell if the market's starting to trend up or down, you don't need to be trading this. Okay, but if the market is trending up, doesn't mean it's bouncing off iZone, doesn't mean, forget all that. Okay, if you want one rule, the only one rule I can give you for that, you could use the MVP. All right, hey, looks to me like the market's trending up here. Everybody knows this is chop, right? Okay, the market seems to be trending up and the MEP is going up. Okay, I'll consider that an uptrend, right? Market's going up. What does it do? Comes all the way up here and here's the high, right? Then what does it do? It kind of retraces back down, doesn't it? Then what happens? It starts to come back up and it hits the same level as this swing high right here. Does that make sense? Market comes up, that's the high. It comes back down, then it pops back up, and then when it breaks that by a few ticks, you enter. All right? That's where you enter. And all we're doing here is going for a 10-tick scalp. Okay? That's it. We're not looking at, we'll go into this IZone or go looking for a 10-tick scalp. All right? When the market comes up, back to the same level, breaks it. Okay? Making a higher high there, breaking it, you enter for a 10-tick scalp. Okay? I'm talking about futures here, by the way. Okay? And where do you put your initial stop? Well, you put your initial stop at the swing low or then when the trend flip flips. Okay, so market's coming up, pops back down. When it comes back up, breaks it, you enter 10-tick scalp. Right? Okay, market pulls back down, breaks it, you scalp. Pulls back down, breaks it, you scalp. Okay, does that make sense in a nutshell? Let me show, I'm going to show you a couple others here. Just bear with me on a few examples. It'll all come together here. Okay, let's look here. Daryl marked up, okay, this was a chart that a trader posted. Okay, I want to show you what's in the forum here because this is where you can take a look at it yourself. Okay, so for example, this is a chart that a trader posted. Okay, and Daryl kind of told him, yep, good job on a few of these. Nope, this one, all right. Market's coming down, clearly in a downtrend, right? Right here's the low. See that? Market came here, what did it do? Popped up, came back down. Okay, now see, here's the low right here. You see this, that low? Well, right here, it met that low. On this bar, it broke that low. So, market's coming down. Market pops back up, comes back down to the same level of the low, breaks it by a few ticks, you enter 10-tick scalp. Right? Market comes back up, market comes back down. See right here? This was the low. Where did it meet that same low? Right here. Okay? Right here. It didn't break that low until here, and then boom, 10-tick scalp. Market pops back up, comes back down, breaks that low, scalp it. That's it. Like, it's as simple as that. Okay? As simple as that. I don't know how else to really make it any more simpler. I know some of you are already asking questions. Well, what about this? And well, what about... That's it. Okay? I mean, it's really that simple. I mean, what we're looking to do here, okay, is the market is trending down. It pulls back up. But when that low is hit and then it's broken, you enter and you grab 10 ticks. Set the stop at the swing high or the trend flip, whatever's closer. If the market is trending up and it pulls back down, when it pulls back up and it breaks that high and it's broken, you enter for 10 ticks. That's all there is to it. That's literally, that's it. Here's a chart from Daryl and here's his rules. That's it. That is literally probably one of the simplest trades that you can do. Okay? And all you got to do is pull up a chart and you can see it yourself. Okay? And you can just easily see it. I mean, here's one of the charts that Daryl posted, pretty easy. Market over here was coming up. Market came back down. Entered here, boom, right? Market coming down, pulls back up, come down. Pulls back up, come down. Okay? So first of all, you can go to the forum here and you can see some good information here. Some traders posting the charts of, hey, did I do that? This is a perfect example of what we were just talking about. Okay? Great job here from iBrand going, hey, I took 3 swing breakout scalps today on NQ. The first 2 were successful, but the third one against me. And by the time the price retraced, could I have avoided this? Was it okay to take? What did I do right? What did I do wrong? Perfect post. He posted his chart. He showed his entries. He showed where he sold, why he sold. He explained why. Boom. So what was Daryl able to do? Say, hey, looks like you may went for more than 10 ticks. Okay. And the one error you might have done was this. Wait for the market to do that. But great job. Daryl took his chart and marked it up, saying, well, this is good, this is good. X'd out this trade, say, nope. That's a perfect example right there for somebody to be able to say, ah, now I see what I did wrong. Now I see what I did right. Now I can do better. Okay? And then came back in and said, all right, well, hey, here's another chart. Here's the rules. Great. And I know that Chris Wall is doing these things all over the place. He just posted, yeah, they're everywhere. I think he said, yeah, these are 80% of his trades, his swings. Okay? And here's, again, just a perfect example of it. Okay? And I know you guys are like, okay, well, give me more. Well, what about this? What, guys, that's it. I mean, I'm going to show you a few more things here, but that is literally it. Okay? That's literally a swing trade. And Chris does these all day long. I know Lori does some of these, and Daryl does these all day long too. When he's not getting, you know, the big trend entries with IZone Sharpshooter, where everything's not quite lining up, he's taking swing trades. Okay, all you've got to do is pull up a chart, and you can very, very easily see it. All right, but again, I know you're like, okay, well, give me more. Well, what about this? What? That's it. See that chart? See these rules. Market's going up. Here's what you do. Market's going down. Here's what you do. That's it. Like, that's literally it. Okay? So, there's no other indicators you can use if you want. Okay? I mean, you should be able to look at the chart and be like, all right, the market's trending up. All right? But if you want to utilize the MVP to help confirm of, yeah, the market had been choppy. It does look like it's on an uptrend now, or it does look like it's on a downtrend now. MVP's flipped, confirming that. I'm going to call this an up or down trend. All right, so you can use the MVP. All right, if you want. Okay. The market retraces, comes back up to the high, breaks it. You enter for 10 ticks. Your initial stops at swing high or low. Then you can use trend flip or whatever's closer. And that's it. Like, that's literally it. Do not overcomplicate it. I know I'm going to repeat myself a million times here saying that's it. Don't overcomplicate it. But like I said in the beginning, that is the hardest part of this trade. The biggest mistakes you'll make with this trade is you overcomplicating it and you wanting to look at other things and figure out indicators and look at all this other stuff here. Okay? We're not using iZones. We're not using magnets. We're not using volume. We're not using exceeded volume. We're not using deviations. We're using nothing else. It's literally just that. Okay? Now, let's look at an example here. Yeah, when you're seeing zigzaggy, yeah, stay out of it. All right? See this kind of zigzaggy? Stay out of it. All right? Well, the market looks like it's kind of going down, and then this flip, and then that comes. Stay out of that. All right, but you got some zigzaggy stuff, but then you start to get a good kind of up movement here, and MVP flips, right? Well, you got some good up movement here. Market comes up, and then what happens? Market comes back down. But then right here, what happens? Market comes back up. See, right here, the market met this same high, right? But it didn't break the high till over here. Right? So market went up, 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 up. This was the high. And the market retraces down, comes back up to the same level here, but then up here breaks it. Boom. You get in, scalp for 10 ticks. That's it. That's really it. Okay? Market kind of comes back down, comes back up here, right? Kind of breaks it there. Scalp it. You might not have quite got 10 ticks there, but you see the concept, right? That's it. So yes, you want to stay out of zigzaggy, you know, true chop, you want to look for a somewhat of a trend. It pulls back, comes back up. Let's look here today. This is today on YM. Okay, so market's coming down. Clearly the market's coming down. You've got MVP flip. So market's coming down. What kind of retrace? Where's the low? Coming all the way down. Here's the low. Market comes up. The market comes back down, right? And right in here, see this low? Right in here, it reached about the same low. Then it breaks the low here. Boom, get in for 10 ticks, right? Market's still coming down. What does it do? Pops back up. Then it comes back down. Here's the low. Where did it hit that low again? Right here, right? So it met the low here, but then the next bar was up here, next bar here, broke that low, you scalp it. Does everybody see that? I mean, is that clear? I'm not really sure how to make it more clear. Check out another one here on YM. This is a little bit longer term one, all right? Market's coming up here, coming up, MVP, boom. Here's the high. This is kind of a longer term one. Market comes back down, comes back up right here. Even a little longer term is fine. I say longer term, but it's only 10 minutes. So this was the high. Market's coming up, comes back down, starts to come back up. Right here, it hit that same high level, right? Breaks it, boom, scalp it. That's it. Like, literally, that's it. Okay? I know most of the time when we are talking to you about a new strategy or a new system or a new trade, you expect a real long webinar, and you get your pen and paper out, and you're making a million notes of do this and do that and wait. And guys, that's it. I mean, you just learned it. All right. Again, if it's choppy, you stay out. You wait for it to come back, hit that higher low level, break it. We're not using any other indicators. We're simply going for 10 ticks, and your stop is at the swing higher low or the trend flip. Okay. That's it. That's really it. Are there any questions about this? And if any of you ask a question about using 3 other indicators, I'm going to sick Lori on you. You got to deal with Lori, not me. And trust me, you don't want to do that. You don't want it. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, good question, Kelly. Kelly said, review the stop. Okay, well, let's look at this one. So market's coming up. All right. Here's the high, right? Market comes down. This is the low. Everybody see that? That's the lowest it's been. So when the market gets back up here, it's at the same level as the high. Then it breaks the high, and we enter. Okay? So you can place your stop at the low or the trend flip line. All right, so in this particular example here, Kelly, I would use the trend flip line because it's closer than the low. Okay, and since the trend flip has actually flipped, it's closer. So right here, the market hits the same level as the high, right? Market's coming up, here's the high. Right here, it hits the same level as the high, breaks it by a few ticks, I enter, and I'm going for 10 ticks profit. If the market were to come down and hit trend flip, then I'd get out. Okay. All right, let's look at this one. Okay, so market's coming down. Here's the low. Market comes back up, comes back down, breaks the low, so I'm entering going for 10 ticks. My stop would be if it popped back up here. Okay? Make sense? This one here, market's going up, it comes back down, comes back up. Here when it breaks it, I'm going for 10 ticks, or if it comes down to trend flip. That answer, Kelly, that makes sense? Everybody see that? I mean, is the stop pretty easy? And any questions on that? Let me take a look here at some questions. Give me just a second here. All right. Susan, can we get a template for all these indicators, or at least yeah, Susan, it's already in the toolkit. It's called the IZone Sharpshooter template. All you gotta do is select your instrument, select the template, and it'll all pop up. It's already there. All the indicators are in there. The template's already pre-made. Okay. Fabian, do swing trades work on FX assets? Absolutely. I'm just showing you, okay, like this example right here is YM, which is the Dow. This is, what is this? I think this is like the Aussie, I don't remember what chart this was. Yeah, this is a Forex chart. Yeah, you can use it on Forex, you can use it on indices, you can use it on commodities. Yes. Okay, you can use it on anything. Swing trading will work on anything there. You know, the best thing to do is whatever market you trade, just pull up a chart right now, or as soon as we're off this webinar, pull up a chart and just go back and look at them. I mean, you'll see they're everywhere. Just go back and look at them. Okay. Let's see here. 10 ticks. You call that a swing, then how many ticks would be trending setup? Rod, 10 ticks, you call that as swing, then how many ticks would be trending setup or scalp trade? This is a scalp trade, Rod. Okay. Well, we're calling this is swing trading, but we're scalping it. All right. Market's coming down, pops back up. We're scalping it. Okay. This is a 10 tick scalp trade. All right. This isn't a trending trade. All right. The trending setups are following the IZone Sharpshooter trending rules. Okay. Complete different set of rules. All right. This is just in addition to that, in addition to the E's, the elevators, and the slingshots, this is just another scalp trade that you can do. Okay. That's very easy to see, very easy to spot, and you're not lining up, you know, 7 different rules and looking at 5 different things and waiting on all these indicators. It's just that simple. Okay. Let's see here. You're basically just waiting for it to break the swing low. Russell, yes. Now, basically, what we're looking for it to do is break that higher low by 1 to 3 ticks. Okay. I normally am a fan of 3 ticks on everything. Like whatever system I'm using, if I'm breaking a high or breaking a low or, you know, trading the Apex Elite, I want it to break by 3 ticks. Okay. But, you know, technically, you know, we say 1 to 3 ticks. Some of you guys like to enter, you know, 1 or 2 ticks, but 1 to 3 ticks there. Okay. Susan, do you do this on spreads or with binaries? Well, what I'm basically covering here is for futures. Okay. I personally have never tried it with binaries. I don't think I would recommend it for binaries myself. Okay, because we're just going for 10 ticks there. You could do it with spreads if you're using very tight spreads like gold or NQ, and you would definitely want to use the middle spread. All right, like the big daily at the money middle spreads that are going to move with the market. You definitely, if you're only going for 10 ticks, you of course don't want to use, you know, the close to floor ceiling spreads. You'll want to use the at the money spreads. Okay, so for right now, I'm saying this for futures, Forex, stocks, CFDs, and those tight spreads. Okay, going for 10 ticks, you know, I probably wouldn't recommend it for binaries right off the top of my head here. I mean, you might be able to get a little bit of scalp out of a 20-minute binary, but I just, personally, I'm not going to recommend it for that right now. Lori, I don't know if you've done any tests on that yourself with binaries, but I honestly have not. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, we're not looking at iZones whatsoever. Okay, not looking at whatsoever. Yeah, Ashif, yes. No, not Lori. Don't let me get in trouble with Lori. Exactly. Let's see here. David, do you recommend this over slings or elevators? I recommend both, because sometimes when you have these, a lot of times when you have these particular setups, you know, you might not have an actual slingshot or elevator trade there. All right. Just like when you're trading, you know, IZone Sharpshooter trending or chop, you know, might be a complete different trade than when you see an Apex E show up, or when you see a sling show up, or an elevator show up. So I'm not saying to do these as opposed to another one. This is simply an addition. This is a complete different trade than a slingshot or elevator. Okay. As we have them defined and set out, we've got trending, we've got chop, we've got E's, we've got slings, we've got elevators, and we've got the swing trades. Okay, so I'm not saying to use one over the other. This is just in addition to it. It's just another trade that you can take advantage of on the same chart, one chart, throughout the day. Okay. Yeah, Craig. Yeah, we're still using the same bars on these. Okay. And I mean, you can play with the bars. You know, if there's a particular thing that, you know, a lot of times you'll see us use the 8, 10, and 5 bars on the indices. Okay. But if you're trading, you know, Forex or something else or certain other commodities, you know, those markets may move different. You may be using different bar sizes. Okay. But yeah, we're not using different bar sizes. Whatever bar size you would use on your instrument to trade IZone Sharpshooter in general, and like the trending trades, same ones you can use for the swing trades. You don't need to use different bars or anything like that. Okay. Let's see here. Anthony says, I just want to say this works. I've been using the C's trade with Lori's 12 ticks and sticking with it. Now can't wait to catch more swings on the 8, 10, and 5 for more entries. Anthony just said it. Exactly what I just said. This is not compared to or one over the other. It's exactly what Anthony just said. I'm trading this. I'm trading the E's and the elevators and the slings, and this is just one more thing I can trade. Exactly. Okay. Yep. Exactly. Chris Wall says, I do it with spreads all day, the daily near the money. Yep. Chris does, like you saw in the post, this is about 80% of his trades is doing either elevators or slings, or doing the swing trades. And he's using those daily near the money spreads and knocking it out. Let's see here. Okay. Now you could do at the money binaries. People are asking about binaries. I haven't tested them much myself on this, but yeah, you could do, if you're going to do binaries, you could do binaries, but do not do out of the money binaries. Do not do your deep in the money binaries. You want to do at the money binaries, like around $50, and go for about a $20 scalp. Okay, so Jesse, yes, you can use this for Nadex. You can use it on Nadex spreads. Okay, like Chris was saying, the near the money daily spreads. If you use it on binaries, you'd want to do the at the money binaries, and you'd want to make sure that you're not trying to hold them and you want to go for about only at the money binaries for about Lori, would you say about a $20 scalp, I would say, on those? Okay. But again, do not go in and do this with at the money or in the money. And make sure that if you're doing binaries, you're just looking for that quick move, get your $20 and get out. Okay? Don't try to be greedy and hold it and have it go back against you. Okay? Yes, Susan. Yeah. If you're going to do this, you want to use the daily spreads and the middle daily spread, the most near the money spread you can get. Okay. Jesse, spread, Nadex, when we're talking about spreads, we're talking about Nadex spreads. All right. Nadex offers binaries and spreads. So if you trade with Nadex, you can use the at the money binaries or the at the money spreads. Or if you're a futures trader and you're actually trading straight up futures or Forex, you can trade that as well. Okay. A couple of people are saying, hey, what's the difference between spreads or futures and Nadex? I'm a little confused on that. Well, what you can do is go right here to the questions tab, go to trading questions forum, and scroll down right here to underlying markets. Okay. Got Nadex binaries, outright spreads, Nadex spreads, different markets, futures, Forex. You can go through here and watch some videos and information to really understand, stocks, options, what are the different type of trading instruments out there, and you'll kind of understand the difference there. They're complete different instruments. They tick differently, like one tick on an instrument maybe $1, one tick maybe $5, one tick maybe $10, maybe $32. Just depends on the type of instrument you're trading, whether it's spreads or futures or so on. Okay. Alex, what about slings and elevator bar size for Forex? Is it 519? They're all different, Alex, because some Forex pairs move a lot, some don't move as much. If you look at like euro pound compared to pound yen, you're going to see a huge difference there. What you got to do is whatever Forex instrument you're trading, best thing to do is just pull up a chart and look at some different bar sizes. All right. If you have too small of a bar size, you might see a lot of choppiness and mixed signals all over the place. If you have too big of a bar size, you might not get a ton of entries, and you've kind of got to play with that. Okay. We use the 810 on a lot of the indices. I know there are some people using 519 on some Forex. There's some people using 313 or 314 or something on some other Forex pairs. Each one is a little different. Okay. So, okay. Swing trading itself. Any questions? Does everybody get that? I'm going to say it one more time. We're not using all these indicators. It's not complicated. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't try to spend hours looking back and saying, well, had I looked at this IZone, or had I looked at this DBA, or had I looked, it's there. Is it pretty clear? Everybody understand this is not, hey, use this as opposed to ease or opposed to elevators or opposed to slings. This is just an extra trade for you. They're all over the place. You can pull up any chart and take a look at them. Okay, so you can definitely take a look at them. All right, let's see here. Susan, the binary trades, if you're going to do swing trading with binaries, you want to only use at the money binaries, okay, priced around 50 bucks. You don't want to do in the money binaries that are like $85 to buy it. You don't want to use out of the money binaries that are like $15 to buy it, okay? You want to buy or sell around 50 bucks, the at the money binaries, and you want to just be going for a quick like $20 scalp and get out. That's it. Okay. Let's see here. Abdul, I don't have yesterday's stuff in front of me here. Fabian, let's see here. We test this over time. The markets are swing accurate when they are near those levels. Fabian, you go back and look at whatever markets you're trading, but we've looked at that, and when it swings back and breaks it, sometimes those levels, some will swing back to it and bounce. That's why we're looking for that break. But when it breaks it, a lot of times you can still get those 10 ticks out of it. You might not get 30 or 40 and don't want to do a big, trend trade off of that. Okay. But you, a lot of times you still get that scalp once it's broken. Okay. Kelly, what are IZone Sharpshooter chop trades? Those are the chop trades when with IZone Sharpshooter, we have our trending rules, okay? And then when the zones are close together and squashed close together and they're straddling a ice zone or deviation, we have a complete different set of rules, okay, for those choppy markets. All right, and that's all part of the basic, that's all covered in the IZone Sharpshooter course. We're not calling those scalps, we're calling them chop trades. And that's the only difference, okay? Tawana, what is a good instrument again for spreads for this trade? Well, you can trade you can trade any of the spreads, okay? I mean, I really like the gold spreads and the NQ spreads because they're very tight bid offers. Those would be my favorite, but you can trade any Nadex instrument with these with spreads, but you have to make sure that you're using the daily, you want to use the daily middle spreads, the near the money spreads, okay? You can easily find those on the scanner. You want to get the near the money spreads, okay, that are just a few ticks off of, you know, a proximity, okay? All right, guys, that is it. That's swing trading. Again, it's not an either or this is better than another, or this replaces another. It's simply just an extra trade that you can do, added on to the same exact chart. So check out that forum post. Okay, I will link it. I will link I'm going to put this on the IZone Sharpshooter course page, and I'll link the forum post to swing trading, and I'll link this video as well. So watch this video again if you need. Check out the forum post. Do some back testing on it. Just pull up a chart. All you got to do is pull up a chart, and you'll see them over and over again. Whatever you trade, pull it up, demo trade it moving forward, ask questions in the forum if you have anything, and you know, ask questions in the room. Okay. Susan, really need to review this again, don't we? I'm not sure what you quite mean there, Susan. But yeah, I mean, if you want to watch this again, watch it again. Check out the forum post. Again, some of you are saying, wow, I really have to look into this, or maybe watch this again. A lot of you think that you're missing something, and you're really not. Like I said over and over again, the hardest part about this trade is going to be you and fighting yourself, wanting to look at all these indicators and think it can't be this easy. There's got to be something more, and there's not. That's why I made it clear. There's no deviations, no iZones, no volume, no magnets, no break a high, break a low, 10 ticks, here's your stop. That's it. Okay? And yep, can be done anytime, day or night. Just pull up a chart and look at it. Okay? All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and shut us down here. I will get this recording up here in a little bit and get all those things posted onto the IZone Sharpshooter forum area. Check it out, pull up some charts, play with this, back test it, demo it, ask in the room, and have a great night, and we will see you all in the Elite Room tomorrow. All right, thank you guys. Yep, very simple. Simple, simple. All right, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for all your input and good questions, and we will talk to you later.